Serious, what is the harshest truth you've ever learned? Don't take anything for granted. Things change so fast and life is really short. I remember having so many friends not that long ago who are now strangers. That even your best friend can turn into a stranger rather fast. Loving someone unconditionally and being willing to do anything for them doesn't mean that they will feel the same way about you. That no matter how much you care for and value someone, they're never obligated to be the same to you. Especially friends. In a relationship, love is not enough. Doing your best and giving it your all doesn't always mean things will turn out the way you want. Sometimes things just go bad. Life will never be fair. Your life is actually comically short and it wasn't meant to feel long for your convenience. If you're 16 or older, you've started feeling that uncomfortable feeling that a year is much shorter than you thought. Don't fall in love with potential. Sometimes the nicest people just seem to get fricked over by the universe through no fault of their own. I am nowhere near as smart, nice, or likable as I thought I was to myself. Stop worrying what others think. Most people are so caught up in themselves they barely know anyone else exists. Don't let your ego convince you that anyone gives a rat's ass about what you're doing. Of the few out there that do care, even fewer of them can do anything to either help or harm you. Life is short. You grow up hearing this over and over again, but until you reach a certain age you don't have the perspective to fully grasp this. When it comes to grief, time does not heal all wounds. It dulls it. But one trigger and it floods back. I learned this after my dad and grandma died in 2015. Sad, I know. But I resent the fact that people kept telling me I wouldn't feel it one day. I think we need to be honest about that so people know how to cope with grief in the right way and not hold out for a day when it won't be there lurking in the shadows. Sometimes you are the bad guy. Every organization, no matter how lauded, how aspirational, how trusted, is still at the end if the day comprised of very fallible humans. It's never a stranger who betrays you. If somebody doesn't want to be helped, you can't help them. This one hurt with a suicidal brother. Nothing lasts forever. You can speak as many languages as you want, have multiple degrees and certificates and still be rejected at the simplest of jobs. When someone dies, you are never seeing them again. The day my partner died, I fell into my bed at night and cried my absolute heart out, knowing I would never hear her voice again, and it destroyed me. My bedroom was so quiet, dull and hollow, and I just felt hopeless. That was 6 years ago and I can vividly remember my surroundings and feelings from that moment. That even thought people are hanging out with you doesn't mean that they always actually like you. I figured that out when I used to hang out with this girl, and one day she just came up to me and told me that it's annoying how I always hung around her and the other girls, and that I should probably just go away because a lot of the other girls didn't like me either. I had such a hard time trusting people after that. I didn't want to go to stuff like sleepovers or hang out after school with kids in high school, even if they did invite me, because I just had that voice in the back of my mind telling me don't hang out with them. They're only inviting you to be polite. Just decline, they'll have more fun without you. Life goes fast. Like super fast after you turn 24. My stepdad told me that I'd blink and be 40. Well, I blinked and being 40 sucks. That one day our parents, grandparents, people who always have been there for you etc. are going to be gone for the rest of your life. That you never know when the last time is until it is too late. Last time you hugged a friend. Last time you said I love you. Last time your kid crawled in bed for cuddles. Last time your parents called to chat. Last time you had a great time with someone before. Even the last times you look forward to end up passing by. And mark the finality of time. I am not sure what the date was when I changed my last kid's diaper. But my babies aren't babies anymore. Nostalgia is a liar. That most people are just assholes and will treat you with no respect. If they don't have to. Worked in retail long enough to not be surprised by any kind of poopty behavior anymore. It's the nice people that caught me off guard. I need to protect myself at all cost. Not just the physical part of me but also the emotional and psychological part as well. Not everyone is your friend. People can flip on you in a second and harm you. Even those who you think truly cared for you. I'm alone. No matter what you have or what you do, you will be essentially forgotten after a few generations. No matter how talented you are at something, there will always be someone way better than you. Ultimately, you must stand alone and what your loved ones think about you doesn't matter. In the end, you are you and that is enough. Sucks if you are caught up in getting likes and reactions in social media. I'm not at all special. I have a big nose. Didn't realize till someone told me at 17. Without help. Trauma never goes away properly. I know this is frowned on but thank you for the awards. They are much appreciated and make me smile. However, if you were considering a paid award, please instead donate that money to either your local mental health aid or your local animal shelter please. It can do so much good. Thank you all for your wonderful responses. That the world doesn't wait for you to be okay. You just gotta learn to pick yourself up and get better. Nice people don't necessarily get treated very nicely. Even if you treat someone really well and you both love each other, it doesn't always end like a Hollywood movie. Sometimes there are too many obstacles. You can do everything right. Give something 100% effort. Follow all the rules and still fail. It freaking sucks to be the poorest person in the room. But the pity is worse. Just motivation to work harder I guess. I'm never going to be wealthy enough to retire. My dad is a terrible person and I am not immune to it. I have to let go of him. I have to actually reject my own parent. He's a crippled alcoholic and I have to essentially abandon him anyways because he's also an awful person. It is the right thing. But it feels very wrong. No one is 100% in your corner. Just because she's your mother doesn't mean she will love you. You're the weirdest person out of most people and you won't even know it until someone tells you and it will shatter you. That you cannot force anyone to love you. That's the lesson I learned after my ex-stepdad removed me from visitation. Alongside my sisters I would go to his house even after my mother and him divorced as he was my father from I was 3-12. 9 years of being my father figure. He cut the chain faster than ever after gaining a second wife. My niece asked her mum why I had to move away for work and she told her it was because I didn't accomplish anything in life and had no choice. She relayed it back to me really casually. Despite knowing that I come from an abusive childhood and being there when I wasn't allowed to do certain things in life. 99% of the time. No one cares. It can be both comforting and harsh. No one cares about the things about yourself that make you anxious or self-conscious. But also, no one cares about what you like, what you believe, who you know, where you've been, etc. Everyone is just waiting for their turn to talk about what they like, what they believe, etc. It's normal though. Just sucks sometimes. Find a person or people who do genuinely want to know about you and hold on to them forever. I spent years trying to be the perfect man for my crush. But being perfect for someone won't make them love you. That life is just not fair. People will do bad things to you and not only get away with it but convince others that you're the problem. You may ask, where's the justice? There's no justice. There's the powerful and the powerless. Justice is a concept made to keep you and me from revolting. No person, thing, or event will ever make you truly happy. You need to be happy with yourself first. And then you can enjoy other elements of life to their fullest. You can die at any moment. End a day of any number of thousands of reasons. Make every day count and live it like it's your last. Look back at your day. If you died and looked down at yourself, would you have done everything you wanted to? Sometimes, despite widespread evidence, logical reasoning and common sense, there will always be people who would blame the victim and support the abusers. Being the hardest worker will not always equate to you being the one rewarded or recognized for accomplishments. Someone close to me committed suicide. It's still hard for me to accept. Since the breakup of a long-term relationship, it's been the realization that I'm not as desirable as I thought I'd be. And the women I like seem to be out of my league. Regret over an important decision will cling to you for the rest of your life. It will pain you deeply and you will pray for a second chance that you know will never come. You know when you have regret because it hurts so uniquely and deeply that you feel like you are emotionally drowning day after day after day. For all the days you have left to live. People judge us by our actions, not our intentions. This follows the saying, the path to hell is paved by good intentions. Bad things happen to good people. My husband and I lost our 11-year-old son to brain cancer. My daughter lost her twin brother. My mother lost her grandson. None of us, and definitely not him, deserved that. He was an amazing kid. So kind and thoughtful. And meanwhile there are assholes, bullies, and greedy people running amok. Somehow you dig deep and decide to be even better and continue to serve others, but it doesn't mean you won't get poop on again. Most of your friends are only friends with you because it's convenient. From birth to death nobody has to spend more time with me than I do myself. So the only person's approval I need is of my own. That no one cares. I got out of the army and thought the world would give me everything because everyone supports the troops. Turns out, no one actually cares and only support the troops until it becomes inconvenient. I've been turned down for more jobs for my military service. That we are very much like arrows launched into the sky. Good parents build the best bow they can and hope their aim is true and their arm is strong, knowing that if they shoot well, they will never be able to catch up to their offspring. But the world will progress, and the future will hopefully be brighter. Okay parents, find whatever bow they can scrounge. Try not to waver too much as they fire. And hope they didn't frick it up. They weren't necessarily prepared. Or aware. And most are just grateful the bow didn't break. Shitty parents never find a bow. They just walk outside and jab the arrow down in the mud, either not caring about what happens to it, or determined that it will never know it was supposed to soar in the first place. It is so freaking hard being poor and putting your best foot forward, showing up early and offering to stay late, being reliable, and being a hard worker is not enough to move up the customer service chain and move up past minimum wage. If you want government assistance, you can't work full-time minimum wage or you'll lose it. If you lose it, you have to figure out how to work even more to make that money up. If you're not a parent, not disabled, not a veteran or pregnant, you really can only get food stamps. Even when 70% of your income goes to some slimy landlord and nearly the rest goes to everything else you need. It's goddamn tough. So goddamn tough. But the hardest truth is, if you're poor, you're just poor then. No amount of work will make you not poor. That it doesn't matter how hard you try to be a person that, at least some, people like. They still don't like you. I mean, I am now 20 years old, have seen 5 schools, have been on 3 sports, and I still don't have anyone that likes me enough to be my friend. That was a hard pill to swallow. But there is nothing that you can change about it.
Hi there. Look, if you enjoyed the video, well, why not go ahead and hit that like and subscribe to Reddit Stories. In fact, if you want to see even more responses to this thread, well then, take a look. There's the link in the description below. And remember, show some love to those authors while you're there. And I look forward to seeing you next time.